Alright, so a little update video. So since the last video I have sorted out the sound issues with the TFMSX. It's now working with both the FPGA and the real SCC card, and the sound mixing is happening. What I've done is I've changed it. I've basically tapped everything and built a test board, which I'll then put into the next revision of the board. But I'm basically using a single rail op amp. Kind of flummoxed me a wee bit because I'm so used to doing op amps with plus and minus dual rail op amps that I actually buggered up the bias. So I have a patch wire on there to get 2.5 volts and a couple of resistors on there. So yeah, this is all sorted. The refactoring has been done. Fantastic. This is now the next thing on the bench. The TF4060. There's. If you didn't mind having slow eyed, I could probably release it right now. I'm trying to work with Eric Hemming to get the IDE driver to be loaded into fast memory during boot. Otherwise it loads from an 8-bit port and it's quite slow. Booting diagram here, but it does boot to the desktop. As I said before, I've updated. You might have noticed that I've moved my lab, and that's because, and there's a lot of stuff here. That's because through here in the big main lab, I have been demolishing the whole thing. Right, we'll do a separate video on this. I'll do a video showing how I ripped this all out, but and the reasons for it. But the summary version is that it was absolutely freezing in here. The wind's blowing through those vents that you see up in there and one over there. The place was stinking of mold. There was an old carpet. So I'm currently have a laser level, and I'm working on various. That's not actually how I'm using the level, but I'm digging this floor down. It's actually mostly stone, so it's slow progress, and I'm using one of these. It's basically Minecraft, except it's really hard work. So I'm just doing a couple of these a day. We'll flatten this, and the idea is to put down a damp-proof course, some insulation, and then after that underfloor heating, and then a screed of 70mm. So I'll have to come up. So I'm trying to go down so that it's all flat, so that the whole thing will be roughly the same height it was before, but it'll actually be level, because there was a slope so big you could ski down here. I'm cutting this wood up and using it as kindling. These rocks, quite interesting. I don't know. Quite interesting seeing how some of them look burnt. So I wondered if, and it looks like there's kind of coal, some bits of coal here as well. So I wonder if this was an old fireplace or an old fire pit a couple of 100 years ago, but who knows. And I'm also waiting to get an electrician to disconnect the ring main in here so we can do this. But the whole idea is the whole place will come together. I've had some expert advice on what to do in here. So, but you can see kind of here, I think you can see how much of a level I had to come down to try and get it level. This bit's I've already done. I'm working that way, shoveling it, doing a couple of hours a night. So let's move on to on the CD32, and I'll show you that just shortly. So here I am in my office, and what I've been working on is the CD32 and the TF360 CD support. Just trying to understand what's going on with it, and trying to understand, how do I improve it. And I have a fair understanding of what's going on now. So I have my logic analyzer there. I'm in my office because I've moved everything because of the chaos downstairs. But this is all set up, and what I've done is I've written some code which will bit bang the CD drive, read the responses. It does it without interrupts, and eventually I'll translate this into assembly, and we'll work it. We'll make it go into diagram. But so in the simulator, I can read the table of contents from the disk like that by bit banging the drive. However, the same thing over here. It doesn't work in the real CD. It doesn't even spin the disk. So I think I'm missing something to spin the disk. I think maybe I need to call it with the pause command or something. But you know, I am able to connect to the. I am able to do things like I'm able, like if you see there, I'm able to read the drive ID. I wasn't able to read the drive ID here. I was expecting it to read the drive ID. So you know, it's managed to do a few things. But I'm also wondering if the original CD driver needs to be removed or you know, taken out of commission. Otherwise, that might be an issue. I have it disabled here. I haven't got it disabled here. So that's my next step, is to burn almost like a 1200 ROM for the CD32. I know it sounds easy, but it's just a case of going ahead and doing it and just removing the extended ROM from it and installing it. But that's that. Also, since we're here, the TFMSX Rev 2 retro sandwich version is ready to go. Actually, I think I'm just doing some very final checks. I want to check if the footprint of this guy will be okay, so I can use a double or a single footprint. I just need to go and find some parts in the basement and actually verify that. And I think the only other thing I wanted to check was I can just set the chip enable on the ROM always to ground, because I wanted to reuse. There was one thing missing from the previous version, was that we had, let me see if I can find it. ROM output enable is obviously set there, and it's done logically correct, but I wanted to refactor and be able to get PPI sound, which is apparently a bit on port C, and have that go to the audio amp, and so we can, and that's used for the keyboard click. And I've got this guy here, so I can choose between one of two different ROMs. I've got some like renaming of some lines to do, but I think anyway that's all I'll be doing on any TF work until Monday, because I'm off to the RMC cave with my wee boy, and maybe I'll put some of that RMC footage, if I take any. I'll put this at the end of the video. So a little visit to the cave. Great to see Neil. Massively impressed with this. Perfect use of a plan chest. And now it's time to go to the arcades. Look who just turned up for my YouTube channel. You've never. I'm just filming a little skit for my YouTube channel, and yeah.
What do you make of it?
It's fantastic.
Good atmosphere in here.
Fantastic.